Right, testing, testing. Hopefully we've got audio. Whoever's watching can confirm or deny whether we have mic audio. We're here for Friday Night 9 Ball. Obviously Slim is busy today or working late and hasn't made it, so I'm going to cover some of these matches tonight. Quick look at the bracket. We're in the room with Larry and Mooncake. We have, I think we've got 9 in, have we? I think maybe we've got Spectre Dawn up against Bankster. Bankster's getting the 5 ball, very dangerous again. Graphics card, RTX 5090, has got a bye to round 2. So there only is the one first round match. This match that we're in is a round 2 match between Larry and Mooncake. So RTX 5090 is going to have to wait for that Spectre Dawn Bankster match to finish. We've got Romario in round 2 against Stefan. We've got Liquid against NS War. Liquid getting, what's he getting? The 5 ball as well. And then, of course, this match that we've got at the moment. So, am I going to get a confirmation in the chat as to whether the audio is coming through? Because I'm using the old Gamecaster software. There is no on-screen chat with the old GameSpy software. It doesn't work anymore. But if I've got 2 viewers, at least one of you can type whether you can hear me or not, and then I'll know that it's working. Anyway, regardless of that, I'll keep talking until somebody does tell me whether they can hear me. Right, so Larry, with the first rack on the board, in fact I've got that in the wrong camera setting, I've got it on at 40. Let me just change that. That's the wrong one. Get it down to 30 for streaming. That's better. So you can hear the mic okay. Good evening. Well, the one thing about this old GameSpy software, which is now defunct, is the fact that I can use the annotations to do my lines in the table, which is something I miss. Remember, these matches are all straight knockout, race to 9. There is no one loss side. That has gone by the wayside. Don't forget also we've got that big semi-final match coming up on Sunday evening, 8 o'clock British summer time. That match between Albinario and Spectre Dawn. Well, Mooncake, he must be on holiday at the moment because he's been around VP4 for quite a few days now. You know, subsequent days, one day after the other. So I think he might be on what you call vacation in the States. So he may well disappear again after it may be time to go back to work. So Larry, with either the thin cut or the bank, it's a cut and a 2-0 lead right now. Welcome to Blind Hog. Good evening or good afternoon. So Larry with a good start. 2-0 on the board. A good break. I think he had 2 or 3 balls in the break there. So this is what we say, like shelling peas. It's so easy for a 3-0 lead. And Mooncake hasn't had a shot yet. Yeah, the audio has been fixed. I just hadn't the time to mess around with the blue audio software that goes with these Logitech headphones, but I took an hour or so and messed around with it a few days ago. Well, Larry's certainly found a break tonight. Look at this. We've got the 1 ball gone, the 3 ball gone, the 7 ball gone, the 8 ball gone. I think that's twice in a row. He's broke about 4. He's potted about 3-4 balls in the break. So he's certainly landed on the money there, although he's not really got a shot in this 2 ball. Trying to duck behind the 4, but he's got into it too soon. And Mooncake, well, he needs something to happen quickly here, or this match is going to run away from him. I mean, the bank is on. The thin cut is on, but the problem with the bank is the cue ball's going to have to run to have some sort of sight on this 4 ball. I think that's got the legs. It's got the legs. So he's got a cut in the 4. And he's just got to watch he doesn't hook himself behind the 9 trying to have a shot in this 5 ball into the side. And he's missed the 4. That was a critical shot. And it should be 4-0. Yeah, Larry, two brilliant breaks there. I mean, I don't know. That's a rarity. Mind you, I'm trying to remember whether Friday night 9 ball is rack money. That's a thing. That'll tell you in the tournament setup as to whether it's actually rack money, because it suggests that it might not be. In fact, we'll just find out. I mean, you see how many balls. We've not seen that many balls go in the break the whole 9 ball world championship. Definitely not seen that amount of balls in the break. Right. Let's see this break here. I think well, the 7 balls gone, 1 ball's gone in the side. Right, let me just have a quick check here. See whether it says it in the setup. Blah, 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 blah. Call money. Rack money. Oh, rack money is on. So it is. So, bang goes that theory. Larry just got lucky then. Right, so, well, Liquid signed up for Friday night 9 ball and then forgot all about it. So, NS War gets a walkover in that first match. No, golden breaks don't count. They've never counted in Friday night 9 ball. As far as I'm aware, I'm pretty certain there's no golden breaks in Friday night 9 ball. There never has been for years and years and years. Spot money will be on. There you go, spot money on. So that means if the 9 ball goes down, it comes back up. You know, and you carry on your visit. You don't win the rack. So hopefully I can get to use my annotations. I've missed them for a while, and I've found out the reason that the on-screen chat doesn't work anymore in Gamecaster. I'm talking about the old version of Gamecaster, not the one that they actually shut the whole thing down on, which was like a souped-up version of GameSpy to make it look like XSplit Broadcaster. They made it too complicated. Nobody bought into it, and that's why it went bust. But But the chat, the on-screen chat, no longer functions in this because the websites and everything that all update their software to do with the chat, and this software hasn't been updated for like 6 years, and so my on-screen chat will not function in this software. But the reason I'm using it is because it's a very quick way to start a live stream, and it saved me setting up a new presentation on XSplit Broadcaster. I've only got the one XSplit presentation now, which is all for VP4 online, with all of the macros and everything and all of the different screens that I can go to. I've nothing like that in XSplit Gamecaster. All I've got is bare bones. That's all it ever was, and it was a great invention. So it was, and it's just a pity that some idiot come up with the idea, let's try and make more money. And what they did is they launched this is a version of Gamecaster which is 3 point something or other. It's 3.4, but about 5 years ago they decided to reinvent Gamecaster. They called it Gamecaster version 4, and they made it look a lot more complicated, a bit like OBS, a bit like XSplit Broadcaster that I use, where you can add scenes and different screens and all of that stuff. The problem was that nobody bought into it. They actually advertised it as to allow you to live stream free, which was fine. You could very basically live stream free, but if you wanted any other functionality, you had to buy into it. You had to pay a subscription. And the problem was, whoever came up with that brilliant idea, the public weren't interested, they weren't buying into it, and it wasn't going to pay. And so they ruined a very good product. If they had kept, or if they decided to go back to Gamecaster the way I've got it, the old version, it would still sell, because there's plenty of people with one monitor who want to be able to live stream, and they would still buy Gamecaster, I can guarantee you. But they made a complete arse of it and wrecked it and ruined it, which resulted in me having to find a new way to live stream, which I did. I learned the sort of ins and outs of Broadcaster. I'm a lot more familiar with it now, and you have to move with the times, don't you, eventually. What's happening with Bankster and Spectre Dawn? Because Bankster was getting a 5-ball, which was very dangerous. Larry with a 4-1 lead here. Cue ball's going to head south, I think, just in its last breath. So Mooncake has a chance to, well, I was going to say get himself back into it. He's still going to be trailing by 2, but it's a lot better than 5-1. No, Bankster's up 5-1. Well, Bankster's always dangerous with a handicap like that. He's more than good enough to get to the 5-ball. But then again, Spectre Dawn, if he gets in and gets his break working, he could very quickly turn that around. So he could. So Mooncake is certainly going to stem the tide for the time being, but he really has to at least get this follow-up rack if he can. Nothing doing. Oh, yeah, something went into the left side there. I don't know that he's got a shot in the 1, because I think the 2's blocking it. Oh, tell a lie, it was a cue ball that went. My bad. Well, that's a disaster. So Larry is just plotting his way around the table, which is what you should always do after a scratch. Make sure you know where you're going before you move. How many times have I said that? Well, the problem for Larry, obviously, that's why he was having a quick look, because the 4-ball is very tight past that 5, and it does go. There's no problem the other way. Well, Larry's trying to get on it, and he's giving himself the best chance he can, but he's going to be hampered over the 7. Yeah, this is no gimme, but he's nailed it. Now, has he got a sight? Where's the cue ball going? I don't have John Virgo or anything like that on Gamecaster. I just have to do it all myself. Welcome to Cobra. I'm just desperate to use my lines. I'm desperate to use them. Right, now we've got a few people here. I wonder if any of you, because I've been doing a little bit of investigation, and I'm desperate to ask Steve, if I get Steve in the next stream, if he's around on Sunday night, I'll ask him. I'm going to show you something. I wonder if any of you guys have actually looked. We'll wait. Well, I think Larry's pretty much going to win this rack, but I've been doing a little bit of investigation. Right, he's going to get this 9 ball, so we're going to come out of that for a minute or two. Right, I want to show you this, and I don't know whether any of you have actually looked, but see if you go to the links page. If you go to the links page, there's a new one at the top, which is this one here, and it says, well, I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's like Englia Master is the official community leader and authorized representative for Virtual Pool 4 in Vietnam, leading a community of over 540,000 monthly active players. He, what's that saying? He focuses on high quality localization and strengthening the connection between Celeris and Vietnamese billiards fans. His efforts play a key role in expanding virtual pool across Southeast Asia. Now, I stumbled across that the other day. I was just looking through the tabs at the top of VP4, and I stumbled across that, and I thought, well, what's this? And I thought, well, I need to find out more about who this guy is. So the natural thing to do was I went on to Google and I copied his name from the text and I put it into Google. And, well, unless I'm doing something wrong, the only thing I could find with that name was on TikTok. And if you do it yourself, you will find a few videos of mine from my channel that he's got on TikTok. There is probably about 4 maximum, and that is all I can find on this guy that's supposed to be the VP4 representative in Vietnam. Now, where Steve gets his numbers from, I don't know. Maybe he's looking at sales of VP4 in Southeast Asia. That's why I have to ask him, because what I also want to ask him is who the hell is this guy? Because there's nothing about him. There's no website in connection with VP4. There's nothing on YouTube I can find with that guy on VP4. So what the hell is he representing? I mean, I've got to ask that question. I haven't a clue. The Jason Ardy, who the hell does that? Who the hell's that then? Anyway, but if anybody knows anything else about this fella, let me know, because I have done my best to find any sort of information on him, any posts anywhere, and I can't find anything on Google. So he must be a dark horse, or he must be working in the dark internet or something, because I can't find anything about him. If he's working so hard to represent VP4 in Southeast Asia, then I'd like to see some of his work. Surely that's not a lot to ask. I wonder what his connection is. Is it somebody Steve bumped into and the guy says, oh, I've got VP4? I mean, who the hell is the guy? You wonder yourself when you can't find. I mean, it's a bit worrying when you can't find any information about the person that's supposed to be a representative and you can't find anything about them. Weird. Well, anyway, Larry is building up this lead here where Mooncake is, well, he's got to really hit the ground running at some point. He's staring 7-2 down here. Now, see when you say lots of new players, Romario, from that part of the world, don't you just mean 3 or 4? Because that's all you'll ever see in the lobby. Even at 4 o'clock in the morning when I get up sometimes in my days off, that's the most you'll ever see from that part of the world. So it's not as if the lobby's ever heaving with people from Southeast Asia. So Larry with a 7-2 lead. Mooncake, well, there's only one way forward for Mooncake, and that's to come out fighting. And his problem here is not potting the 2, his problem is finding the gap to go on that 3. Well, he's leaving it inside. Blind pocket cut. The problem with this is he wants to bump into the 9 or be there or thereabouts on that 9 on the right hand side, because then he'll have a shot going that way to that way. He's bumped to 9. My lines were working there. Well, now it's a wee bit awkward, the angle he's got, and there's the bankster win on Spectre Dawn, so a chance for a... Well, who won it last week? I don't know, but anyway, Spectre Dawn won't be winning it. And that's the danger of bankster getting 5 ball against anybody. He's going to make the most of it. And Mooncake has to make the most of this, because he's already at the point where he cannot afford to miss anything. Now, I think the 6 comfortably goes past the 8. There's no problem there. His only problem is what line he gets on this 7 ball. He wants to be something like that. He doesn't want an angle like that in the 7 ball to try and cut it up the rail, because this side pocket's in the way. So he's leaving it short just so that he can drop it in and pop out the back. That'll do nicely. I'm looking at the stream on my phone, and the stream on my phone looks perfect. Looks very good to me. And Mooncake, well, is he on the comeback trail? The only thing that I've got on this Gamecaster is this. I've got no macros, nothing, no funny lines, no John Virgo. This is bare bones live streaming. Well, Mooncake's break unfortunately was dry. Larry's played a push out, but Larry should possibly be in trouble here. This is dependent whether Mooncake can miss this 4 ball. Well, he's actually hit it the right side. He's drifted over to the left. It's covered the 1, or is it left a tiny edge? It's left a tiny edge. And Larry's going to be in trouble again, because that's a straight push through on the 1 and lock the cue ball on the 3. And that is where you need to lock it up, because that's going to cut off rails, I think. Is it? No, it won't. Larry's going to maybe have to spin it up a bit to get it from that side. It's certainly not getting it from that side, but from this side, a bit of right English. He's putting loads of spin on it. Does he need that amount? Oh, he did need that amount. Oh, he'll be happy with that. He'll be very happy with that. Well, Slim definitely must be caught out at work today, because sometimes when he doesn't make it, he arrives maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes after the tournament started, but he's obviously tied up, very busy. Well, that's a bad miss from Mooncake, because that was not a difficult kick on that one ball. And Larry, with ball in hand, well, we'll give him the 1 and the 2, but the 3 ball's a bit in doubt. He's got to get a line either below the 3 or over on the left-hand side up top. Now, he's pretty straight in this. Forcing up top for the 3. And of course now his main problem has been able to just brush off that 7 and go forward enough to get a decent shot in the 4. Well, I don't know that he can avoid the 6 ball here. The thing is, if he plays this at just a nice normal pace, he might just rub off the 6 and come around the corner and leave the long straight 5. These are the sort of shots where you try to visualise how this cue ball's going to go if it does run off the 6. Well, Larry's run off the other side of it, and that'll work as well. Bankster, 52 shots, 53 made. Well, it sounds as if, regardless of the fact he was getting a 5 ball, it sounds as if he's shooting well enough. Well, Larry's had a couple of monster breaks in this match, but he's pretty much going to be on the hill here in the next minute or so. 9 ball isn't flush to the rail, so there's no reason whatsoever he shouldn't be out. Checked that big time because he didn't want to run into the 9. Because running into a ball when you don't need to, and if you have to take evasive action because you just don't know how it would end up, he could have ended up sat on top of that 9 ball. He was getting the 5 ball, wasn't he? Right, I think that was a 4 ball went into left side. Where's the cue ball going? 4 ball has gone. Now this is a touchy little shot if you're trying to get cute behind this 8 ball, because I think the 5 ball's actually in the way of you actually doing that. I think the 5 ball stopping the 1 ball getting away. I think that's the problem. In fact, now that I look at it, I don't think he can see all of the 1 ball. I think he's actually partially blocked by that 7. Let's have a quick run round and see what we've got. Yeah, I thought he could see it clean, but he obviously couldn't. He might be getting a roll here though. Oh, it's bumped into the 6. Well, the danger here for Mooncake is pushing that 2 ball anywhere in that corner towards the 9 ball. Because if he leave, he could actually set something on. We'll tell a lie, he's on the 1 ball. It's after 8 o'clock. I'm in shutdown mode. I never even noticed the 1 ball there. Now what's he going to do? Is he going to try the billiard off that 2, or is he going to try and cut it onto the 9? What's he doing? Looks like the billiard at the moment. Oh, that'll work. That'll work. Played it very well. Gave it every chance to go in. Well, he's not dead yet, but he's certainly at the point of no return. And there's that pattern with the 3 balls. We've lost the 4, we've lost the 6, but no shot in the 1. And this is not an easy push out either, because this 1 ball's got nothing around it guarding it. And he might even have just left a bank on here as well. Yeah. Now, knowing Larry, has he left enough of that for the bank? Maybe not. Tell a lie, he hasn't. I thought he'd left enough of the bank there. Well, try jumping over that 8-ball. That's a good one from Larry. Well, there's a lot of room behind that 1 ball. Mooncake's got the hit. How's his luck? Well, I think he'll be in trouble here after this shot by Larry. Well, he really should be, because there's a line of balls to tuck that cue ball behind. And he's got it. So Mooncake's going to have to get a good roll here, because he's on his last legs in terms of survival in this match. And I think all of those balls in that lineup there, they're all available. There's a gap between them all, so there's not a problem. Well, I just give it a damn good slam. I don't think the 7-ball's coming to the rescue. Now, this is far too straight. There's a slight angle Larry can manipulate this cue ball on, but he's going to come down on the left side. Well, if he hadn't bumped that 3-ball, he might have been pretty good there. Well, he's still got half a shot in the 2. The problem with that is he's trying to hold the pace off the cue ball. Well, the bank's on. I don't know that the thin cut's on, but the bank's certainly on. Where's he going here with the cue ball? What's he looking at? I think he's playing the bank now. Well, if you're going to miss it, you miss it on the long rail. That way it'll come back to the short rail like that. But there is a bank on here. Now, this is just off the middle diamond there on the short rail, so it's a good bank. He's got it too narrow. It needs to hit the 7, and it has done. Sigh of relief there from Mooncake, but Larry may well be enticed into the bank again in this 3-ball. No, he's just trying to use this. Well, I thought he might have tried to use the 7 there. I think he should have maybe tried to check that with right English to come back over and use the 7. As it is, he's left it wide open for Mooncake, and maybe even entice him into having a blast at a cut down the rail here. No, trying to get cover, but the problem with the cover is that jump queues are on in this tournament, and that's going to be easy for Larry to get over. It might not necessarily be easy to get the pot and have a shot in the 5, but he'll be having a go. Unless he's fallen asleep. Oh, there we go. And he gets a nice little rub onto that 5 ball. Well, I think the last few nails are getting into Mooncake's coffin here. Now, I think Larry can stun up the left-hand side here. If he stuns it up properly, he can have a good shot in the 7. Well, he's trying to run out and have a straight-in shot. Well, he's got there. That was probably easier than the one I was talking about to actually get position. I haven't seen many other results coming through in the chat. At the bottom of the screen. I think that's the only match result that's come through so far, unless I've missed a few of them. But this one is certainly a result. It's a 9-4 win for Larry. And we'll have a quick look and see how that shapes up the bracket. So Larry is through. We'll do a quick refresh here. Get that done. Right, so we've got that round 2 match started with Bankster and Graphics Card. Bankster's getting a 7 ball and they're 1 each there at the moment, I think. And there's, oh no, I did miss a result. Romario has flown through against Stefan by 9 racks to 3, so he's blown him away. NS War, who had that bye in round 2 as well, with a forfeit from Liquid, he's just starting his match with Larry. And well, I think what we'll do is we'll jump into this match here, this round 2 one that's just started. If we can get in, that is. Right, so Bankster is getting the 7 ball, so he's not getting 7 and out, he's just getting the 7 ball as his extra money ball. Meanwhile, Graphics Card is nailed behind the 5, with the 4 ball hanging over the bottom right hand corner pocket. Well, can you not just go up and down off the short rail that he's right next to? Why is he looking at multiple rails? I think he could have just went up and down. Why didn't he even look at that? I mean, if he queues over the 5 ball, he could just play the bunt down the line there to knock the 5 in. The 4 in, sorry. I don't know why he didn't play that shot. Anyway, Bankster won't be worried. He's worried about if he can get position on this 5 ball from this draw shot. Easier said than done. He might have overhit that, has he? He has. He's going to be at top side, and I don't think he's got a shot. I think that's too far to be cutting. Yeah, well, he could actually cut it up the rail. Don't know about in the side pocket, but certainly up the table he could. That's too soon. Oh, is he going to get a rub again? No, he isn't. Not this time. So, RTX, well, he's pretty straight in the 5. I think he can get enough draw in it just past the side pocket for that 7. Well, he's actually just killed it stone dead, but he's still got a shot. So RTX goes into the lead. Welcome to Mooncake. Did you see those massive breaks that Larry had? He had 2 massive breaks in that match where I think he potted 3 if not 4 balls in both of them. I was thinking that Rack Money wasn't on, but Rack Money is on, so Larry proved there that you can get some balls in the break with Rack Money on. And there's that line of balls again. Cue ball's gone south. So straight away, Bankster has a wide open table. I think he's having a look at the 3 ball. Let's have a look. This time the problem's the 3. It doesn't go into the corner, but it may well go into the side. Let's have a look. It certainly does go into the side pocket. That's very often what happens, that sometimes one ball is separated and the other one's sort of locked up in one direction. In this case, the 3 ball's locked up into a corner pocket, but it goes into the side. It most certainly does. He just hasn't quite got low enough on it or high enough. He's still got a shot, but he would have liked to have been about there though. Yeah, that was just one shot too many. Well, it could have finished a lot worse than that. Well, early on in the match, I mean, it was I think it was like one frame after the other. He just banged the balls in, and about by the time I had counted them, about 3 or 4 had gone in. Well, back in the good old days in VP3, it was only a race to 7 in Friday Night 9 Ball. And it was only single elimination then as well. So blinking, you were out. Just thinking about that. That's 20 years ago now. Goodness me. And Friday Night 9 Ball used to start at 9 p.m. my time, and it would go until at midnight. Them were the good old days. Well, when I say the good old days, I wasn't getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning back then, so it didn't matter that I was going to bed at midnight. It most certainly does now. No, when you say Mal started playing VP4 again, you need to clarify that. All he's doing is making a video and uploading it to YouTube. That's all he's doing. That's all he's ever done, is played the AI in that bloody tournament thing that the offline has, and then uploaded the video. He's not playing VP4. If he was playing VP4, he'd be here, and he hasn't been here in years, really, Mal. Too busy working. I think he's the last time I heard he wanted to be a politician or a councillor, one of the two. So the best you're going to get from Mal is just an uploaded video. Maybe he's get fed up with Shooter's Pool as well. So we're 2 apiece in this match between Bankster and Graphics Card. Dry break from Bankster, wide open table, but he's got to avoid traffic here. He should still have some sort of shot in the 2 ball though. And then again, if he does stuff like that, I think I would have hit that harder to make sure that I was bumping a ball out the way, rather than playing it such a soft pace. Right, well, I mean, let's be honest, I wouldn't suggest that a 3-9 combo is on here, but then again, when you look at where the 3 is, there is a gap for that 3 to go past the 6 and the 9. Obviously, if you try and get up in the short side of the 3 ball, you're going to have a wide open pocket, so I wonder how brave Bankster's going to be. Is he just going to try and drop down towards that 5 ball? Well, yes, he is, but he could have played that better because he's left it short. He wanted to be there. I mean, he's a foot short of where he really wanted to be. He wants to make your life easier by getting there. He's left it hard work now. In fact, he did go for the combo in the end. I think if he had actually played that shot better in the first place, he would have got down. But maybe he left it short intentionally to play the combo. Who am I to criticise him for that? He might have deliberately done that. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But what it has given him is a 3-2 lead. 1 ball has gone, no shot in the 2, push out to be played. Well, I know what Steve would say right now. That's a terrible push out, because you know where this cue ball's going. This cue ball's going right behind the 5 and 6. That's a terrible push out. That is just asking for trouble. And I don't know what's taking the RTX so long to play the shot, because that is definitely the shot. Nail this cue ball in behind the 5 and 6. It looks too easy. This is just a nice little touch shot. Oh, he hasn't hit it. I mean, that is really poor. I mean, that says a lot about your touch and your confidence when you can't get the cue ball in behind the 5 and 6. That was so easy a shot. There's no way I'm missing that shot. Now, he needs to get the English on it to get a hit in the 3, and he has done, and he's got a shot. That was well played. But that was really so poor from RTX there. Yeah, did you not think the volume in that video was way too low? I mean, I know I'm getting deaf, but I had my headphones up full blast to actually hear him. I think I've said to him before about his volume levels and his recordings. The audio was far too low to me. Oh, we got 3 likes. Well, I don't have the like bar in this stream tonight, but it still helps. The more the merrier. The more likes I get. We've only got 5 viewers in. 6 including myself. Right, well, these guys are mucking around here for the time being. Well, we'll see if Bankster can get on the 4 ball, which I think he has. We'll have a quick tab out and see what's happening. Right, first of all, Romario is waiting on the winner of this match, so he's going to have a little while to wait. That match between NS War and Larry is now got to 2 each. Now, anybody who's been around VP Virtual Pool, i.e. myself, will see that these are 2 guys that long ago were in Virtual Pool 3, 20 years ago, playing one another. NS War and Larry. Everybody else are kids compared to them. They've been around for a long, long time. So they're 2 apiece. Romario's sitting waiting in this one. And not a lot else happening, because we're now into, well, round 2, but really we're into round 3 once these guys are finished. Now, what's Bankster done here? Well, tell a lie. He only needs a 7 ball. I forgot about the handicap. Yeah, my audio is great since I took the time to fix it. It was just a case of having time to get it done, and I had been busy doing other stuff. Right, so Bankster with a 4-2 lead. Graphics card with a shot in the 1. And a fair bit to do to get on this 2-ball. Now he needs to get away from that 6. Now again, this is all about judging the pace. You're going to cut this 2 in. You're going to go to the long rail left side, long rail right side, back out and into that gap between the 4 and the 6 for the 3-ball. That's all you can do. In fact, he's actually playing it just the 1 rail, which is a bit risky, but he's managed to judge the pace on it pretty good. Well, he's going to have to go right across to the 2 rails this time. No, he's trying to hold it and get cute, but he's got away with it. He was dragging all the pace off of that. There's a danger to that when, when you're effectively not really going through with the shot as to whether you're going to get the first object ball to a pocket. But he's done it okay so far. Well, at least the 7 balls over the corner pocket, so he just needs to roll this in. No major problem. Well, you just got to get up the table high enough. You don't want to leave yourself in no man's land. Well, again, you've got to watch the line this cue ball's going here. If you're going to run 2-3 rails here, you've got to watch you're not running into the 9. I don't know. Let me have a look at the angle. Yeah. Now, he should have seen that happening. And again, he's got away with it almost. Because now it's tricky. Well, it's certainly a tricky drop into the side. But he's got it. You see that? That should be staring you in the face that cue ball's going to run into that 9, and you're taking a big risk running into it because you just never know. You could end up totally locked on it, no shot at all. Well, that's a pretty damn good break there, and the 2 balls coming round. Well, this is exactly what RTX needed. Is he too straight in the 2? No, he's got an angle. He'll be able to stun across for the 3. Exactly what's required to get back into this match. Oh, when I did a test video on this the other day, I just into, I think it was a snooker room that was on. It's on my channel, and I had forgotten to set the resolution quality. I'd forgot to go in and mess about and set that. It would actually set to like 720 or even lower. When I looked at the quality of the video this afternoon, I thought that's not a very good quality video. And then when I looked at the actual resolution, the best resolution you can get in it, I think might be 720, but it might not even be that. It was pretty low grade quality, but I fixed all that before I started this one tonight. I remember to go in and do all the settings for it. So we are now 4 apiece. RTX has got himself back in it. And also, again, another solid break. I don't think he's going to have anything in the 1 ball, though. Not this time. Well, he's looking to see where he's going to push out. But again, this is a pretty dodgy push out. With that, especially with the 1 ball been near the 5. If you're going to leave that cue ball up table and give Bankster a shot on this one ball, you're asking to be nailed to the 5. And I think the line that he's left here is going to be stuck in the 5 ball. Or at least he should be. That's the shot I'd be playing. Is he looking to cut this? Yes, he is. He's not hanging about. Well, once you've made that commitment, you've then got to follow it through. I wouldn't have been confident enough to play the cut shot. I would have played the safety. But then again, that's why I'm sitting commentating and not playing anymore. So what I have remembered this time is that Bankster only needs to get to the 7 ball, so he's got to get back up the table for this 5. Well, I think he's deliberately hit that soft like that because he knew the cue ball wanted to run into that 9 ball, so he's left a much longer 5 ball and a more difficult 5 ball. And that's what happens when you leave it longer and more difficult. You end up missing them. So a lifeline there for RTX to steal this and get into the lead. It'll be 3 racks in a row. I'll have a quick drink. I've almost finished my my 5-litre bottle of water. I've still got some in the bottom of it. I've got another 3 in reserve downstairs so that I don't dehydrate. So in goes the 9, RTX into the lead by 5 racks to 4. And again, a ball flies into the corner pocket. The 1 ball gets nudged towards the right side pocket. I think he can drop that in. He certainly can. Just drop it in dead weight. He's on the 2. But the problem is again the 3 ball. The 3 ball's blocked by the 8 and it's just awkward to get to that 3 ball. I can't say that he's actually played a very good shot there because he's absolutely no shot in the 2 ball, so I don't know what RTX's thinking was there in terms of having some sort of shot in the 2. Well, he's went all guns blazing for a 2-9 combo. A pretty far-fetched 2-9 combo. But he really had to come up with something better in terms of positional shot in that 2 because that was in no man's land. Right, now, I don't think, no, there's nothing on there with that 9 ball. Is it maybe going to kick the 7 in if he bangs that 9? And I don't think it will. I think they're too clustered together. Bankster was going to look at something. Well, that's no good because he should definitely be nailed behind the 9 here. Or the 7. I mean, in fact, tell a lie, that 2 ball cuts up past the 7, so you've then got an easy 3-8 combo on the right hand side. You don't have to really worry about perfect position. It's all about just cutting the 2 in. Well, so that was a poor one from Bankster. Well, that 3 ball's almost got away there. Right along that short rail, but I think it's still good enough to pot it. Fair bit of right English there to straighten the cue ball up. Well, RTX again leaving the long 6 ball. He's going to have to come back off this 7 ball. Little stun draw. And now this match has been turned on its head. So from 4-2 down, RTX 5090 graphics card is now 2 in front. Two ball goes in as well. Shot in the 1. And the other ball that's gone is the 6 ball. Well, this table is too good not to get out on. And it could be just a a stop dead shot in the 4, just to play the 5 into the side. He's having a look at the angle of the pot into the side pocket. And then just a roll through for the 7. If he left it. He's left it slightly the wrong side, but no problem. He needs to get off the rail though. So find your way back up table or back down table as we look. And of course the big stun brings a big mistake, and that's a howler of a mistake there by RTX. And Baxter, of course, with the gift of just having to pot the 7 ball. Well, how much is that going to cost RTX, that mistake? Just roll in the 7. And Baxter's back within 1. Just out the blue there, that one from RTX. And Baxter's, I think, got the 1 ball and the 6 ball. And he's got a cut in the 2. 3 balls very adjacent to the bottom right hand corner pocket. And likewise, the 4 ball is handy. And really, the same applies to Baxter here. There's no way he shouldn't be getting out here. And he should be right back onto RTX's coattails here. Just leave the long 5 ball. No, he's trying to get above it. Got to get far enough though. So Baxter making the most of that mistake from RTX. And he squares the match 6 apiece. This might be dry. It's dry. There's a shot in the 1. Again, the 2 ball immediately is a problem because of where the 8 ball's sitting. So it's limited in what pockets it's going to go into. It's also a problem getting onto it. And, you know, the angle that he's got in this 1 ball, although it's helping in terms of getting the cue ball down here, you've got to actually get into the cue ball here. Well, he's actually trying to come into the gap. That's very well judged. He's going to be hampered big time, though. And an awful lot he can do here other than try and get in the same gap again this side for the 3 ball. So he's got to go forward and try and get up high enough and find the gap either there in the short one or there further up the table to get on that 3. easier said than done. And it's going to be the other one as he got past the 7. I think he's just got there and no more. Yeah. I'll tell you something else that's different on XSplit Gamecaster. The delay between the actual ball being potted in the game as I'm looking at it until it appears on the live stream is about 4 seconds. So it's pretty nifty, even though the on-screen chat doesn't work. It's still pretty nifty, this bit of software. It's always good as an emergency backup. Well, the 8 gets bunted in as well. But Bankster is just 3 shots away from getting back into the lead here. Well, we'll see the break-off shot in the next rack and we'll have a quick tab to see what's happening in that other match. Oh, he didn't have a great line in that, but it wiped at his feet and went in. So 7-6 to Bankster. Seven ball hanging over the pocket. The break is dry, I think. So RTX needs to get rid of that 7 ball, whatever he does. Because if he doesn't, he's going to regret it. He's played the bank on the 1. And this is always a danger. He's got to... now that he's got that 1 in the pocket, he's now got to see the job through here. Because any mistake and any chance, that 7 ball is going to get knocked in one way or another. And this is not cut and dry, this rack, because again that 5 ball is interfering with the 4. Yeah, has he overhit this? No, I think he's judged it pretty well. Very well done. Well, the make or break shot up close is the 6 ball. With no worries about getting onto the 7. It's all about leaving yourself just a half decent shot in the 6. Let's have a look. Well, he can go forward to the rail and come out a wee bit if he wants to just leave the cut. I mean, he could just stop there and leave a bank up and down in the 6 if he wants to do that. Well, I think it'll be the cut though. And then the big test is finding your way onto that 8 ball. Again, it's easier said than actually to accomplish because it all looks so simple. But again, where the 9 ball's sitting, you'd want to go over the right hand side for that 8 ball. You still can, but you're going to have to leave it short. You know, if you're going to play the 8 ball, you're going to have to leave it well short and leave a cut. Well, he's trying to play the perfect draw and he's overcooked it. He's overcooked that by quite a margin. Now, what does he do? Line up the combo and have a go at it? Might as well. Thing is, if you don't get cover or get a lucky roll, you're going to be facing the fact that Bankster's going to be on the hill. Well, he did go for the combo. And he'll be happy with that outcome because the 8-ball's gone safe. Now, how safe is it? Well, it's off the rail and Bankster's already lining up the cut, I think. Is he lining up the bank? He's had a go at it. Tried to give it every chance to go in. But again, he's left this awkward for RTX. He's right in the middle of no man's land. And this is no gimme. Either way, certainly not cutting it to the side. I don't think he's going to scratch either. I think he's going to hit the jaw just above the pocket. 9-ball is comfortably off the rail. But you've got to get this flush though. And he's played it well. We're back. 7 apiece. We might be going all the way here. Right, quick tab while he's breaking off. We will see that Larry and NS War. Larry's got a slender lead by 6 racks to 5. Into rack number 15. And I think a ball has gone. The 5-ball has gone. The 7-ball went as well, but because that's Bankster's money ball, it comes back up onto the spot. And RTX remains at the table. And that's a bad miss. And he's got away with it though. He has. He's got away with that big time. Well, Bankster was trying to play a combo there that was nowhere near set. I mean, that was a tall order to get that to go in with the two of them being so close together. Well, that might not be the best move he's ever made, because it's let RTX in. Well, anywhere over the left-hand side, he's going to have a sight in the 3-ball. He's got to get past the 6. Well, he's running rails here, and he's running into no man's land again. Well, you know one thing, if you leave this short on this side, you're going to have a shot. And again, that's a pretty poor shot from RTX to do that. You've got to see how far that cue ball's going to run at that pace. And that's a really bad misjudgment, and he's leaving himself a lot of hard work here to stay at the table. But he's got the 3. But that could have been so much simpler had he played the correct shot in the first place and just went round the corner and leave the longer pot. Well, again, doing his best to get himself in trouble here. What the hell's he done here? Look at this. Again, that is careless. Really careless. So I've seen 2 poor shots there by RTX. Right out the bottom drawer of numpty stuff. Should have been well away from that 8-ball. And this could cost him dear. Because Bankster just needs to roll down. Well, I don't know why he's not rolling this. Oh, well, he is going to roll it into the side. I think he's just looking at how far he wants to roll through for the 7. Well, this is a gift and a half here for Bankster. But RTX wants to give himself a good slap round the back of the head, because that was 2 really poor efforts that he's just played. And it could cost him the match. Because Bankster is breaking on the hill. Three ball has gone in top left. And the cue ball gets a nice little kiss onto the one. And he's plumb into the side pocket. Two ball very handy. Four ball, loads of room into the top right hand corner. Five ball wide open. And you would think that RTX may well have played his last shot here. Bankster just has to get this cue ball going in the right places. And he should be home and dry. Now this cue ball needs to come out into the table. He needs to stun this in quite a bit. He wants to get out into the table. Well, he's actually came towards the 6. He wanted to hit that a bit squarer. But, you know, at least he's still got an angle in the 5 to get the cue ball right out for a shot in the 6 somewhere. Into the same pocket, more like. So one more good pot. Now he could go forward and around the corner here. Or just off one rail and across to leave the long 7. But it will be match ball if he pots it. And he's taking his time. He's got out onto the line and that's perfect. So that's the cost of poor shots by RTX. It did cost him the match. Bankster rolls in the 7 for the 9-7 victory. Well, that's how you learn the hard way. Two really poor shots sold the match down the river. And now we can see that Romario now has his next opponent. We're just going to jump into this Larry NS War match because it's nearing its conclusion. Larry's now got himself a 2-rack lead. Well, one way or another, he's got cover, but loads of room to jump over that 7 ball. Although how easy it is to keep things safe, goodness knows what's going to happen here. Well, the 9 ball now over the pocket. But Larry in control here. Now he may well just drop this 9 in, this 5 in, and then just leave the 6-9 combo. I don't think he should be trying to do anything more elaborate than that. Just drop the 5 in. Well, he's played it long, but likewise, same thing. He's just going to play the combo, and he'll be on the hill. So Larry breaking for the match. And Larry's going to have a little time to get a coffee. I might have a bathroom break, as a matter of fact, as well after this. The old bladder's got stretch marks on it. And Larry's break has given him the 3 and the 4 ball. He's got a very inviting bank on the 1, it has to be said. I mean, there's loads of room for the bank on the 1. He can play the thin cut if he fancies it, which I think he might be doing, and he's overcut it. I think this cue ball, well, the 1 ball's not married to the rail, but it's a long distance cut. Anywhere up the table, and that's going to scratch. That's heading in every day of the week, is it? Yeah. He must have seen that coming before he hit the shot. And Larry now with a gilt edge opportunity to put this match to bed. And the one thing I forgot to mention in the HUD there, NS War was getting last 2 as his handicap. Now this is the toughest shot of this visit, getting good on the 7 ball. And Larry's managed to play the stun draw. Got himself reasonable enough in the 7, and it's all fallen into place here. Drop the 8 in, drop the 9 in, game over. Well, again, he's played it long into the corner, but the same result applies. It is a 9-5 victory to Larry. Well, Larry now, not putting any pressure on him, but he's the favourite to win the tournament now. But again, that is easier said than done. So Larry now is into the final. Romario and Bankster are battling it out. In fact, they're still in the first rack according to that scoreboard. In fact, Romario has just broke off in rack number 2, and he's broke off dry. And Bankster, well, he certainly could see the one. Tried to cross bank it. Right, well, I'll be back in a wee second. Right, I'm back. What have I missed? Well, we're still in rack number 2. I know that much. And Romario stuck to the 3 ball. Now, Bankster can get this to kick and stick like that. He'll have Romario in trouble, and he has done. Well, that's unlucky. Got the hit in the 3, but scratched straight into the side pocket. Now, one thing to mention in this match is that Bankster's not getting any handicap, so they're both playing scratch. And Romario has now given Bankster a free go here with ball in hand. Is that going to get to the pocket? I don't think it is. Well, that's a howler of a mistake there from Bankster. Trying to play it cute. In fact, he barely got on the 4 ball. That's how bad a shot it was. But he did get in the 4, but a terrible mistake by Bankster. Is it going to cost him the rack, though? Because you're never quite sure what you're going to get from Romario. And straight away, he's run into trouble. Run into the 6 ball to call momentum out the cue ball. And the 5 ball, I don't think banks either. I think the 7's in the way. Now that needs to keep running, which it has done. And Romario can breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, welcome to Larry. When did I say that? I'm not even listening to what I'm saying. Well, that's done everything but go in. How's his luck? Oh, you've got to be careful going around here, because this could miss the 5-ball completely, but he did get an edge on it. And I think he's still got the thin cut. Cue ball's running all round the shop here. Well, he's checked it up. Loads of side on it to straighten up and stop it running away to the right. Oh, I never noticed. Who's that? Fast Eddie. What have you missed? Well, you've missed some bloody stupid shots. I'll give you that. You've missed some nutcase shots we've seen. We saw RTX sell out big time with 2 terrible shots. He ended up losing the match because of it. That's how Bankster got through in that one. We've got Larry sitting high and dry in the final. We've had Spectre Don get butchered in the first round against Bankster, who was getting a 5-ball, and Bankster put him to the slaughter. I think, was it 9 racks to 3? And it proved my point. He's the most dangerous player with a handicap in Friday Night 9-ball. But he's not getting any handicap here, and he's 2-0 down, so he's going to have to do a bit more work to get back into this. Well, the jump gets him the hit in the 1 ball. Now there's a lot of balls up there to hide behind. But you don't know what Romario's going to do. He's going all out for the cut. Is he going to have a shot in the 2? Well, yes, he is. Cue ball running loose. Romario taking all the risks. I always get the feeling watching Romario, I'm waiting on disaster happening. That's what it's been like for 20 odd years. Just waiting on disaster happening. It looks as if he's going to get out here for 3-0. But you never quite know. But it definitely should be 3-0 now. Larry, if you just came into the stream, did you hear what I said at the very beginning of the stream? Did you hear what I said about that links page? Go and look at the links page in VP4 and read that top one, that new one about the Vietnamese guy that's supposed to be representing VP4 in Southeast Asia. Go and read those. There's about 3 or 4 lines. I discovered that during the week, just messing around in VP4. I just went through the tabs, and in fact, I think I hit that tab. I don't know why. I might have hit it by accident, but then I saw this new thing at the top, and I read it. And then I went on to Google. I thought, I need to find out more about this guy. And I couldn't find anything. I could only find a couple of things on TikTok, which I don't use TikTok or anything like that. But I found some of my 2 or 3 of my videos. On the on the internal browser, you just click in one of the tabs up top that says links, which is all the sponsors of VP4. And there's a new one right at the top of the page. So I googled the guy, and I can't find anything about him. Nothing at all, other than I said some TikTok videos which are actually links to my videos on YouTube. So if he's that much of a representative, why can't we find anything about him? In fact, I'll show you in the stream. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. What am I doing? Aye. Where the hell is it again? Aye, links. This guy here. In whatever it is, NGHIE Master. If you Google that name, you'll find virtually nothing with that name. And as I said, if you look hard enough, you'll find a couple of those videos on TikTok. But when you try and find information about who this person is, you can't find jack. Not a single thing. So I'm thinking, well, what the hell sort of representation is he for VP4 if we can't find anything related to VP4 from this particular person? Seems very strange to me. Well, that's a bit. Well, I mean, I laughed at that part because I'm thinking, did Steve made those numbers up, or is he going by the amount of sales of VP4 to that part of the world? I don't know. This is why I need to ask Steve a couple of questions. I don't know how forthcoming he's going to be with any answers, but it seems a bit vague when we can't find any details as to who this person is. Where's the cue ball going? I think it's okay as far as staying in the table goes, but he's going to have to blast something here with this 8 and 9. 3-0 up, Romario, but that could easily turn quickly. Well, he's went for the bank. Hasn't got there. Hasn't got the cover, I don't think. And that 8 ball is just beyond the 50-yard line there. I think he can still thin it in, though. And Baxter played that with right-hand English so that when it checked to rail, it would come back up the same side. And he's left himself pretty decent on the 9 to get his first rack in the board. Don't you think it's strange that when Steve's written that text about this guy, you don't think it's strange that we can't find anything about him? I do. I mean, that just seems very, very funny that there's no literature online in connection with him and VP4. Oh, there's I'll need to do some investigative journalism with Steve if I get a hold of him, preferably in the live stream where I can get him cornered. Well, if it is, I've never seen the name. Well, do you think Steve doesn't even know that that's up there in the links page? You think that's something somebody else has posted? I could imagine just saying to Steve, who's this guy that you've got on the links page? And Steve says, what guy's that? The guy that's supposed to be a representative of VP4 in Southeast Asia. I've not got any representative of VP4 in Southeast Asia. That'd be a laugh. But I do think it's a bit strange that it's so vague that we can't find anything about the guy. Go and Google it yourself. See what you can find that I haven't found. I said the only thing I found was a few TikTok videos. And I think the videos were all from my YouTube site. That's all I found. Nothing else about the person. Not that they've even got a website that's promoting VP4 in Southeast Asia, which, again, I don't know. I mean, how much work is this guy putting in for this deal that he's got with Celerus, supposedly. That's what we would like to know. So I'm going to leave it up to you, Larry and Eddie, to ask Steve that if it happens in the semi-final on Sunday. Meanwhile, Romario with a 3-1 lead, looking to make it 4-1. And looking for a match-up with Larry in this week's Friday Night 9-Ball final, which is minus Spectre Dawn and minus 1 Pocket Slim. And it's well past my bedtime again. Oh no, that's not going to get there. He sent it to the rail too soon. And another mistake by Romario, just giving the opportunity for Bankster to stay in touch. Actually, I think I said this a while back. I joined a Facebook page called Hanoi Gaming a few months back. I haven't posted anything on there yet, but I got accepted to their Facebook page. It was the only thing I could find really on Facebook that was connected with gaming and in Vietnam, and it's called Hanoi Gaming. So I'm a member of that channel, and the 9-ball gets billiarded in, and suddenly it's 3 apiece, and that's how things can turn quickly in this game. One mistake from Romario when he was 3-1 up, and he should have been 4-1, and the next minute he's 3 apiece. But Bankster's break has come up dry, and Romario, is he looking to blast this in, thin cut and cue ball running into traffic and all sorts happening. Well, this is anybody's guess as to what's going to happen here. Well, he's missed the traffic there. He's going to be topside behind that 9-ball and hooked, I think, is he? Oh, no, not quite. Yeah, of course they're all gratis because they can't afford the bucks. They don't have the money. So I mean, it's not really doing a lot of business for VP4, is it? Well, Romario's left this short. Again, he's going to have to avoid traffic here, get into this cue ball. And if he doesn't scratch, this is a good shot. Well, good in the sense that he can see the 5 to pot it. He's actually got an angle as well, so he can certainly get down here onto the 6. He's trifling with the side pocket again, and this time it goes in. So he just almost went in on the left side, and he finally finds the pocket on the right side. And the match is turning around here. Bankster with ball in hand. He has to run these 4 balls, though, to get back into the lead. I'd like to know how Steve came up with that number of 540,000. What does that mean? What does that number mean? You know, because it just sounds like something plucked out of thin air to me. especially when there's no details on this said person that he's supposed to have as a representative. It's just got me totally confused. Why we just can't find anything about the guy. So Baxter into the lead for the first time in this match, I think. And a couple of balls have gone in at least. We've lost, in fact, the first three have gone. 1, 2, and 3 have gone. Cutting the 4. 5 ball goes past the 6. Cue ball wants to run into the 9. Cue ball does run into the 9, but it comes over past the 8. Tell a lie, I forgot about the 4. 4 balls up to, what time is it? It's 9:45 at night. No wonder my brain's shutting down. In fact, just as a joke, I've got a good mind to say, Steve, I'll go. I'm volunteering to go your representative in Vietnam because I've got more representation online than what this guy has. Who was that in one of the videos? I think I saw something like that in one of the videos. Well, what the hell was the name then? You think it's AI? Well, does it not bug you guys that we don't know anything about this person and we can't find anything about them? It bugs me. I mean, I spent 2 days trawling through the net trying to find stuff and I couldn't find anything. I thought he's got to have a website then. He's got to be doing a bit of promotion or something over there. But it seems to me he's doing absolutely bugger all. I mean, you can't come to any other conclusion, especially you can't find anything about it. I'm just wondering, surely no money's changed hands. Is this some kind of bloody scam that's done Steve? Do you think Steve's that gullible? He's been scammed by this guy. I think that would be a good opening line to approach Steve with. Steve, I want to be your new representative for VP4 in Southeast Asia, because I think the guy that you've got at the moment is doing bugger all. He's doing jack shit. I can't find anything about him. Can't find anything about VP4 that he's connected with. So I want to take over his job. Well, Romario, I think, was trying to kick up and down there, but I think he caught the knuckle. And ball in hand again for Baxter. Well, he's got to get up the top half of the table. I don't think he's going to try and squeeze that past 8. Oh, you got a bus through there. Plenty of room. Well, I think if he had thrown some money about willy-nilly, there'd be a lot more than 30 odd people in the lobby. That's the answer to that question. Who was it typed in the chat last night, or was it yesterday afternoon? I can't remember, but they had the same response as me. 300 odd online and 169 actually playing in Shooter's Pool yesterday afternoon, I think it was. And that was them moaning because there was only like 25 in our lobby at the time. Well, when I reinstalled Windows there in my PC, Shooter's Pool is gone. It didn't even work in the backup. I created the backup, but Shooter's Pool wasn't preserved in the backup because it certainly didn't get reinstalled or anything like that. But I don't think I'll even bother to reinstall it. I can't be arsed anymore. I don't think that. I think the fact that I don't have it in the PC and I can't be bothered reinstalling it suggests that I'm probably never going to see the light of day in that place again. And I only ever go there to have a quick nosy around. Not that there's much you can nosy about. They shut down the forum, so there's absolutely no communication between the game developers now and the public. Yet they've still got 100 and odd people regularly playing there, which baffles me. But then again, you've got to think that they must be in the same boat in terms of the amount of money that's changing hands in terms of customer-wise. I think a lot of the people that are on there are probably gratis as well. They're probably a big, big percentage. And there is a lot of Vietnamese players over there. Well, they shut down the chat because I think they didn't have... they never employed any... moderators. They were never going down the route of moderators, so they shut the chat down because there was arseholes in the chat, typing abuse. So in order to get rid of that, they just killed the chat altogether. But the first thing they killed was the forum, which was the place I used to go to regularly to actually read the forum and find out what the updates were for the game. But that's all gone now as well. So as far as I can see, they've absolutely no communication with the public, but it seems to be working for them. But as I said, they might have 100 odd people in playing, but I think maybe, 80 odd of them are all gratis. Because the last time I did check, there was a big chunk of Vietnamese players in there. And I don't think, like in VP4, I don't think any money is changing hands. I think they're all just gratis. Right, well, here we go for the 2-9 combo. And no joy. Bankster comes to the table. No shot in the 2, but with a 6-4 lead at the time being. And the 2 ball goes in off the 3. And the cue ball goes into the side. And Romario has a lifeline to keep in touch with Bankster. Well, that 8 ball could end up being in the way here. If he's going to go a couple of rails, well, he's going to be below the 8 ball. He's just missing it. Now, I would assume it'll be 8 ball into the right side pocket. And if he's got the right line, he can just play a stop shot or draw back for that 9 into the other pocket. Well, he didn't, so he stunned it below the 9. Well, this is desperately needed just to stay in touch. Marcellus returned to VP4. I've never seen Marcellus because he said everyone was able to use track lines. Well, they've always been able to use tracking lines on Shooter's Pool, but then again, that's all in the setup of the room. You know what the room's got when you go in. If you read the information as to whether they've got tracking lines on and all of that stuff, and that's probably another reason why they've got a lot more customers there, because they can have the game the way they want it. I've always said that. And if Marcellus is back in VP4, I've never seen him around. Vince says still in the game under another name. He's under that bloody stupid name, Larry will tell you, because I keep forgetting it. What's his name again? There is a hack for all the rooms, for everybody to have tracking lines on, whether you want it or not. Well, if there's not a forum for you to report any hacks or bugs or whatever, then they'll be there from now till evermore, and unless you open up the chat. Good evening to Bill, or good afternoon to Bill. Yeah, what the hell's Vince says his name again? Kylins or something. Something stupid like that. KYLVINZ or something. That's it. That's the name that he's got now in VP4. I keep telling him to change it back to Vince says. Because I'll always call him Vince says. I'm not going to call him the other name. Meanwhile, for any latecomers, this is the semi-final match. Larry's already in the final. And at the moment, we have a tied ball game here. 6 apiece in this race tonight. But Romario has a pot in the 1. 2 ball is wide open up top. And then he's got to track down. Well, I thought he could pot the 1. Maybe he couldn't. I thought the 1 went past the 5, but obviously it didn't. But he's played the next best thing. A damn good safety. So who told you about this hack? So the thing is, when you say a hack, does that mean that if I went into a room, I wouldn't know that the other players are using tracking lines? Is that what you're saying? In Shooter's Pool? Because if that's what you're saying, then that is certainly no good. And you would think that that would cause them to actually take out the tracking lines altogether. And then you would see whether the customers would stay there. I don't. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not bothered because, like I said, the fact that I have not got it on my PC anymore means that I'm very unlikely to ever set foot over the door again in that place. Well, that's freed up the 3 ball. It does go past the 5 if you're playing it in the short side. He's going to have to get out of there, though. This is fairly straight, this 2 ball. There is a slight angle, but he's trying to go forward and come down inside, but he's nudged on to the 8. He's still got a cut. Again, the cue ball is, well, it's got loads of room just to go straight up and down. But the 4 ball is not sitting ideal where it is. A quick reminder as well, folks, for the last time tonight. We have the semi-final match for the Virtual 9-Ball World Championship. We've got Albinario, defending champion, trying to get through for revenge on Cobra for sending him to the 1-loss side. Cobra's lying in wait in the final. And we've got Spectre Dawn, the nearly man, the man that's still to win a major title in VP4. And he's going to have to do it the hard way. We all knew that he's going to have to do it the hard way. If he's going to do it, he's going to have to beat Albinario Sunday night and then Cobra in the final. But I think Albinario might have something to say about it. So that is going to take place at 2000 hours, 8 PM British Summer Time. That will be 3 PM Eastern. That will be noon Pacific. And I will have everything going according to plan. The live stream up and running for that. I don't know whether Steve's going to join me. I presume if he's back home and he's not doing anything on the golf course, then he may well. We'll find out that nearer the time. But meanwhile, we've got Romario back into the lead by that odd rack. He's got the 4-ball in the break. Well, a bit of a cut in the 1. And it's going to have to be the 2-5 combo. Now he needs to play this gentle. Just to keep the 2-ball there or thereabouts. And now, of course, he's got to travel. Oh, there's Cobra. Well, we all know whose side Cobra's on. 15 racks to 9 for Spectre Dawn. Well, this 6-ball's tucked away behind the 9. Bankster. Oh, this looks a good shot. If it just bounces. Very good shot. Now, obviously, he's going to bump the 9. If he wants to make sure he bumps it out the way. Well, we may well be going all the way in this match. And of course, also a reminder that the Black Ball World Championship I'll say that again. The sign-ups are now open. Room for 32 spots. There's about 7 or 8 in, 2 of which I'm pretty certain there's 2 profiles of Stubb in that tournament. Romario says that isn't Stubb. I say it is Stubb because he's chatting in the lobbies exactly the same as Stubbs. That Etikin or Ekian Tkachi, and then Stubbs' normal profile is in the tournament as well. So I'm pretty certain he's got 2 profiles in that tournament. And something needs to be done about it. So that tournament starts on August the 26th at 11 PM British Summer Time. That's when the bracket will go live. Well, the bracket will be live if there was 32 sign-ups before then, but obviously matches can't start until after the deadline. And Romario, well, the 4-ball is up top. I presume that's the 4-ball. It's not the 8-ball, is it? No, it's the 4-ball. But the other problem is, of course, the 6-ball's locked away here. I thought German Pot Machine is Snakes. I haven't a clue who German Pot Machine is. He's just another arsehole. I didn't think you would agree to that nonsense. I think it's more wishful thinking on your part. Who are we talking about there, Eddie? I don't know what he's talking about. Catchy was sending me the usual abusive Stubb message. Of course, it's bloody Stubb. Larry says he's a Stubb wannabe. It's bloody Stubb. I'm telling you. The text in the chat's exactly the same. That is stubbish every day of the week. Well, Bankster played deliberate foul. The problem is with ball in hand in the 6-ball, Romario's got an easy option here to break this 7-ball out. Well, he's broke it out, but you're going to have to play the thin cut. I certainly wouldn't be happy playing in the tournament as long as those 2 names are in it. One of the names, yes, but not 2 of them. So I'll be saying to Steve to get it sorted out. I think that it's too much like Stubb for it not to be Stubb. It needs to be investigated. And now we've got Bankster on the hill and breaking for the match. The break looks dry. No shot in the one though. I'm sure Stubb doesn't have ID. I don't think Stubb's allowed to carry sharp-edged objects like ID cards. In case he does some self-harm. Maybe that's how Stubb ended up losing his arm. Maybe that was self-harm that did that. He's that much of a psychopath. Maybe that's what he did. It's self-inflicted damage. Well, Romario is going to have to do things the hard way to get to tonight's final. One ball gets billiarded in off the 5, shot in the 2, shot in the 3 to follow. And, well, then he's going to have to get crazy on that 4 ball. He's got to get high enough up the table so that he can not only pot the 4, he's going to have to get pretty flush on this 4 ball. You know, you're going to have to get right into the zone so that you can pot that 4 and get catch an edge of the 7 or do something to nudge the 5 in play, because there's not much else that you can expect to do. If you end up playing this high, you could maybe still do it with a cut as well in the 4. But you've got to ride your luck that you'll have a shot in the 5. Well, he's got himself the high angle. Now, how much of that 7 can he chip off this? Maybe not an awful lot. Well, he's got a hit. The 7 ball sat there stone dead. And he's coming down and got a shot in the 5. That's all he's asking for. Now, can he get himself clean around the corner here or off the 1 rail? Because that 8 ball's in the way of where you'd want to go. Well, he's found a gap. And he's found a side pocket. That is really unlucky for Bankster at that pace to go into the side pocket. But Romario, well, I think he might still have problems with this 7 ball. This looks fairly tight. Well, it's not on the rail, but you've got to get up onto it. And that'll do pretty well. Well, are you sure that was actually him? Well, the thing is, he could have had his bionic arm on at the time. If his arm was under a jacket or a shirt. He's got a bionic arm. Well, here we go. We thought it was going to go all the way. 8 apiece. Romario breaking for the match. And a couple of balls in the break. And a cut back on the 1 ball. So the 4 and the 5 have gone. Oh, this is a thin cut. He might be running into this 8 ball and have no shot in the 2. Well, he's done everything to avoid the 8. Oh, this might bump the 3. No, it hasn't. If it had bumped the 3, he was plumbing the 2. He's still got a cut, though. No problem getting onto the 3. It's all about the 2. Oh, he's hung it. He's hung it. So here is Bankster's chance. Anywhere up into the table. Well, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about bionic arms, or just hooks like the guy out of Live and Let Die. You know, the big black guy that fed the crocodiles with his knotty hooks. He'd I don't know what the hell he had. He had a false hand. Well, he might have lost his arm later in life. Well, Bankster sees it through and now has a match up with Larry in tonight's final, and it's just gone to almost 10 past 10, 2 hours past my bedtime. But we do have a final, and One Pocket Slim is in the building. He is in a tournament right now, playing that, what is it, a race to 3 9-ball match with Mad Mitch, and meanwhile the room is up. And we have both players in, and we'll have the lag for the break, and we can see that Bankster is getting a 7 ball. Now again, that is not 7 and out, it is just the 7 ball. Chubbs Peterson, what, the alligator ate him in the golf course, did it? He couldn't have been that great a golfer, because I've never heard of him. Oh, Larry's going to have to jump over the 4, I think. Or is he? Can he see enough? No, he couldn't. Well, he thought he could, but clearly he didn't. Caught the 4. Well, is that a film? Because that'll be one I've never seen. Obviously, it was obviously a character in that movie. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, I've never seen it. That's why it went straight over my head. Well, was Bankster playing to get a little nudge on that 4 to get it out there, or is he going to try and do it off the 3? Oh, that's a beautiful little nudge. Right into the 8 ball. Couldn't have played it any better. And holding position on the 4. If it's a classic, it's a classic. If I'm talking about, when you mention a classic movie to me, I'm talking about something from back in the 60s or even earlier than that. A classic movie to me is like Cool Hand Luke, one of my favourite films, stuff like that. And anything with Humphrey Bogart in it, Jimmy Cagney, James Stewart, John Wayne, all of them from the golden era of Hollywood. That's when I get back to. I haven't watched any modern movies. I mean, the last movie I seriously watched was Shawshank Redemption. And that's it. I don't watch anything nowadays because it's all crap. And of course, the other thing is I'm not paying for subscriptions to anybody, Netflix or Sky TV or nothing like that. I just do not have the time of day to sit down and spend 2 hours of my time just staring at a screen like I'm doing now. I'm talking about a TV screen, that is. Oh, Richard Keel was in it. He must have had a quiet spell then if it into something like that. Touchy little shot there by Larry. Maybe a little swerve there, a little draggy swerve. Well, around the back of the 6 and back into the table here, looking at this angle he's got in the 5. Or can he hold a line off it? I don't know. It looks as if he's got too much angle. Yeah, he's stunned onto the railing out. You know what film I was watching the other day, and I watched it all. I was watching It's a Mad, 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 Mad World on YouTube. It's been uploaded on YouTube, and I was watching it. Now, there's a classic comedy film. That's the kind of stuff I watch. Jimmy Durante in it, Spencer Tracy in it, cameos in it from, well, who the hell, the Three Stooges. You've got Phil Silvers in it. Jerry Lewis is a cameo. Who else? Oh shit, loads of them. Even Buster Keaton in it. Oh, Richard Keel was 7'1", wasn't he? Richard Keel was in. He was in some B movies in the 60s. You know, he played like I think there was one clip I saw of him. He looked as if he was done up as a caveman in some shitty movie in the 60s. Maybe the late 60s it was made, you know, the hippie era. Was this got to run? So Bankster has the early lead, 2-0, and a wide open table here for 3-0. That's the thing about tall people. I mean, tall people, as much as they're a bit of a novelty for a lot of people, the physical side of being that tall is not good for them. You know, it affects the knees, it affects the back, carrying all that weight around. I think most of the really tall people you see, they're all walking about with sticks or they've got walking frames. They're just not a healthy life. Well, there's a terrible mistake there by Bankster, and an immediate lifeline for Larry. And in fact, if you look, the tallest man in the world up until recently was the one I saw was he was a farmer over in Eastern Europe somewhere, and I discovered he's already dead as well, and he was about 8 foot. I think he was about 8'1". You know, really big. But yet they've all got short lifespans. They don't live a great length of time. Even that young guy Wadlow, the tallest man in the world, 8'11". I mean, he was only 25 when he died, and that was just poisoning because he had a dodgy leg brace on that was rubbing his legs. And the other problem with being that height was that your circulation's not that great, and he didn't feel. I don't think he felt the pain that he was getting from that leg brace, and that's how it went so bad, and it went septic, and he died. And he was only like 25-year-old or something like that. No, it's not a pleasant life for them. You know, back in that day, you had, you know, all they had to do was climb under doors. It sounds as if it would be a great bonus to be that tall, but no, it isn't. Pain and suffering for a lot of them. In fact, that was basically the only way I think that Richard Keel was going to get any work, just because of his size and the fact that he could play the bad guy. And obviously, the two films that made him known to everybody was the James Bond films he was in. Has he actually gone too far? No, he hasn't. What was it? Was it Moonraker? Was the second one he was in, and that was the one where he said his three line that he had in the movie, or his 3 word, like, I'll say that again. His 3 words that he had to say was when he was with his little blonde girlfriend drinking champagne at the end of it. Here's to us. That was the only time he actually had any dialogue. I remember all those sort of stupid things about films. I'm a bit like Michael Caine as far as he goes, because he comes up with all sorts of useless information, stuff that he remembers from somewhere. I'm a bit like that. Meanwhile, Larry from 2-0 down is going to get himself back in level terms. Bankster, of course, still has that 7-ball money ball to his advantage. Well, this is going to be a quick rack. It's going to be quick. That 9-ball is dead in the pocket. But Larry, his problem is he's got to make sure he keeps this 1-ball safe, preferably in a pocket, because whoever is at the table is going to be looking for the first opportunity to send a ball on top of that 9-ball. And Larry's overcut the one, but he's going to get a roll. He's had a roll. Oh, I can remember all sorts of stupid stuff, whether it be films or just anything. My mind's a bit like that. There's things where, you know, I'll say, oh, I never knew that, and then, you know, that gets locked away into the depository to be brought out at some point in the future when it's absolutely of no value whatsoever. Well, here's the cut on to the 9 that we all knew was coming. So Larry gets himself in front. Another corner ball, I think, is flown in. And that 1-ball sitting plumb in the middle of the table. But what is there to follow? Well, the 2-ball is sitting there. It certainly goes. Just a little drawback. Oh, is he maybe out? No, I think he's still fine. He's still okay. And of course, the 3-ball's handy, the 4-ball's handy, 5-ball's wide open. Larry should be 2 in front. And for anybody who's intended to join us or join me on Sunday evening, I've got a new stinger for my live stream. You'll see that on Sunday evening. I got that made up the other day. Again, I've been using a lot of this AI stuff. Some of it hits the mark, some of it is a total disaster, especially because you're using all this free stuff and it's probably not the best AI software to be using. Well, Larry can go around the corner behind the 8. Well, he's tried. Now, I think he tried to go sharp around the corner, but he get too much stun in it. I think that was what he was trying to do. He was trying to go sharp. In fact, now's the time to illustrate that with my lines. He was trying to go sharp into the corner to come out, and he got it. He got the stun too much and went into the corner pocket. And we're back all square. And the break is dry. Larry's certainly got the opportunity to tuck the cue ball away here. Well, I mean, it's not a problem jumping over to catch that one ball. In fact, he didn't need to, just a bit of swerve on it. Well, Larry can jump the 5, but he certainly can't pot the 1, I don't think. And that'll do. Now, did that hit a rail? Yes, it did. Well, if you hit this 1 ball right, you can tuck up behind the 2. It's a wee bit touchy. You've got to hit it half. I got it too full. Yeah, the screen is awfully clean because I'm using the old XSplit Gamecaster, which I downloaded off a website. I've still, I've still got an account for XSplit. Well, Gamecaster that is, because I bought it. I paid for it years ago. But because it's outdated software and it's no longer supported because they run it into the ground. The only thing that doesn't function on it is the on-screen chat, which I used to have. This was great for single monitor streaming, but you can't get the on-screen chat to work anymore because a lot of the websites like Botrix and that have all updated their software, and this hasn't been updated, so it won't work with chat. But like I said earlier, it's good in an emergency, or it's good if I'm not doing a tournament match event where I can just fire it up and I can do a live stream. It still streams pretty damn good though. And of course the benefit that it also has is that I've got the annotations I can draw on the screen if I need to, which was always a big benefit, especially if you were streaming VP4. But the screen will be cluttered on Sunday night, and there will be macros. I've got a couple of new macros that I put in the other day. Well, this is going to be a disaster because that's never getting to a rail. That's the old trackball mouse again, Larry. Yeah, I'll be back to XSplit Broadcaster on Sunday evening. But the other thing you've got to look on the bright side. As much as there will be clutter on the screen, the audio will be better. Yeah, it actually does more than lines. I'm just remembering. In fact, I think they hit the. Aye, it does more than that. You can do that with it. You can change the colour with it. You can also do. Now, wait a minute. Is it control? Hang on. I can't remember how the bloody thing works anymore. It's been that long since I used it. But you can do circles and squares, but I can't remember how you do it. You have to hit a combination of buttons, and I don't remember what they are. Is it control and that, or is it control and alt? I don't know what it is. Ah, there it is. Wait a minute, I'll show you. If you do that, you can do a circle. If you do that, you can do a square. But I primarily use it for doing the lines when I was using it back in the early days when I was streaming. I used to use XSplit Gamecaster all the time until they then updated it, made a complete arse of it, and nobody bought it, and that's how it went out of business. And they ruined a good bit of software, so they did. And meanwhile, Larry is back in front. Got certainly one ball in the break, and it was Bankster's money ball. So the 7 ball comes back up. Now what we got here? Well, guess what? I've got my old donut problem again. Hang on. There we go. It should come up any second now, he says confidently. And have I got my donut back? That's the most important thing. It must be a bug in the Logitech software for this old mouse or something that's conflicting with VP4. Because I think it's the only mouse where I periodically lose my donut, and I don't know why. Right, well, Bankster, this is a first challenge, is trying to get down onto the 3, which he's managed to find a path to. Now, problem is he's got too much angle here. Far too much angle to try and hold for that 4. So it's up and down, miss the traffic, he's bumped to 6. But he's still okay, he's got a shot, and he's got the angle to try and get a nudge here. Looking for the nudge. Oh no, he isn't. He's trying to get over on the short side of the 5, and I think he's played that pretty well. The problem is, though, when you start trying to be cute, you end up missing the pot in the 4 to start with. Well, maybe it'd have been better to play for the nudge and ride his luck. And Larry touched like a sledgehammer, far too heavy. Yes, he still has a cut, but he could have it a lot easier than this. What's Epic Pen? What's that? Is that a bit of software that you're talking about? Well, Larry looking to get himself a couple of racks up here. I'm looking to get to bed because it's now gone 10:30. Way past my bedtime. But I've only got a short shift tomorrow, so that's why. Well, it lets you draw on the screen. Yeah, the thing is, though, the difference between... See, I've got Mirillus Action, which is another live streaming software that I've got. Now on it, if I want to draw on screen and do lines on the screen like I do in VP4, like I do in this Gamecaster software, then I have to have VP4 in desktop window mode. I can't do it in full screen. The difference with Gamecaster is that you can do it in full screen mode. That's the biggest bonus that you have there. You have to do it in desktop mode in Mirrorless Action. And the other problem with Mirrorless Action is that whenever you go to write something on screen, the game actually freezes. So that doesn't happen in VP4 with Gamecaster. So there's advantages and disadvantages with one and the other. Well, in goes the 9, and Bankster. Or was it the 7? And I missed that there. I was too busy looking at the chat. It might have been the 7, I don't know. But anyway, he's back to within 1. And he might have just come up dry. Yes, he has. But look at this table. This is the first. This is the most difficult shot right now. Now, he could stun this in firm into the corner, come off the rail and down onto the 2. He's got to, I think he's got to hit this hard to avoid the 5. You see, there's the problem. Larry should have hit that a lot harder. Commentator's eye said he was going to run into the 5, so you had to slam that in to get the stun to work and miss the 5 ball. Right, so you think it works with full screen, and it's called, what's it called again? Epic Pen. I might have a look at that and see whether I can get any benefit from using it. Whether it would be compatible with XSplit Broadcaster. I have my doubts as to whether it would be, but there's no harm in trying it. Now, what's the difference between the free version and the full version? Are you limited what you can do? And obviously, you are limited. But if you can draw lines with arrows on it, then that would do me nicely. So I could illustrate on the table. That would be a bonus. Oh yeah, I'm going downhill rapidly here. I have definitely hit the sleep wall. The brain is well and truly going downhill. See, if it's freehand lines, that's bullshit. That's no good to me. I don't want to scroll squiggly lines. I want to do nice straight lines with an arrowhead at the top, like this. This is what I want. I want something like that, like this, but not freehand. That freehand's a load of crap. That's no good to man or beast. And I certainly ain't paying for anything. Meanwhile, Larry looking to open up this 2-rack gap again. Now, how straight is he on this 6 ball? Because he's pretty close to the rail. Well, he's managed to go forward and spin it out. But can he just drop the 7 in? Because this cue ball wants to marry up with the 8 ball. It looks like, yeah, he's managed to more or less kill it. And this is just a little drabby draw shot just to kill the pace. Well, I mean, Larry's not in a commanding position. He's just got a 2-rack lead at the moment. But when you mention it's called Epic Pen, I'm sure that it won't be the only thing on the market. There might be something out there. There might be a, what do you call it, version. You know, something that somebody has done. What do you call it again? an actual proper free version which somebody has manufactured themselves, where they look for donations and stuff like that. I can't remember the name I'm looking for, but you know what I'm talking about. There's bound to be something like that on the net. Aye, freeware, that's the word. Aye, that type of thing for cheap bastards like myself who don't want to pay money for the thing. Well, Larry, is he going to start running away with the match here? One good shot onto the 8 ball. And he should be 3 in front. Well, he's gone way past the comfort zone here. The cue ball's now running loose. Now, I don't know whether he checked that up there to try and kill it off the rail, but it certainly had the desired effect. Yeah, get AI to do all your work nowadays. I asked Copilot the other day. I said, make a stinger for me for my live stream, right? And the next thing it came up with was a bloody cartoon character whom I've never heard of, and I'm thinking maybe Copilot thinks I'm talking about some cartoon character. Baxter back to within 2. I don't know whether you can post links in the stream. I might have switched that off. I don't know. I can't remember. I might have done that a while ago when we were getting porn bots coming in. They seem to have all disappeared, by the way. We don't seem to get any trouble with that at all now. Microsoft Zoom it. Well, see when you say Microsoft at the beginning, that gets me worried. Anything where Microsoft's involved doesn't sound like a good deal. Mind you, having said that, I use that Microsoft thing that's it's only available in the States at the moment, but I use it. I've got it installed on my PC. What do you call it? That Microsoft PC Manager. I use it because it's handy. You can get in if you can get into the recorder really quickly. That's where I made that. Well, I did the recording and then I used what's it called? I used voice mod along with that recorder to make that announcement for the last match that we had in the live stream. Zoom it is great. Never heard of it. Now I'm not going to write anything down at this time of night because I can't be asked. So I'm probably going to ask you both to remind me what the name of these programs are so I can have a look at them. It does straight lines and arrows. Yeah, but the question is, does it do it on a full screen? Or is it only desktop? you know, can you overlay it into a game? I don't think you will be able to do that. Because that's the big advantage that XSplit Gamecaster has, that you can do it on a full screen game. So it's something that needs to be programmed in a certain way that it overrides, you know, because the game is dominating your monitor screen, whereas if they program the software right, the software can actually bypass that dominance of the game in desktop, so that you can overlay it on the game and still play the game in full screen while you're drawing stuff on the screen. That's the whole advantage Gamecaster gives to me. Because, like I said, that Mirrorless Action software that I've got, you have to have the game in desktop mode, or the on-screen annotations don't work at all. They don't function at all. Well, I'm saying this match still has the potential to go all the way, but Larry is going to be strong favourite if he can get himself to the hill here. No, you see, that's the thing. You know, it's not something you would, if you're using it for work and other stuff like that, you would never even consider thinking that you could overlay it over a game, and it probably won't do that. It would never have been designed to do anything like that. This is not quite tight to the rail, but you've still got to keep it flush. And he has done. And Larry will be breaking for the match, and I can get to bed. So don't forget, if you can, guys, join us on Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon, depending where you are in the world. And if you can't be there, don't forget also that the match will be on the playlist for this particular tournament for the Virtual 9-Ball World Championship. And still also plenty of time to get signed up for the Black Ball World Championship, which is at the end of August, or the 26th of August. Sign-ups are open. And Larry trying to see his way home here. Now just a little nip round the back of that 9-ball. Now, I presume he's going to play this into the corner. But again, he's got to hit this so he gets out onto the 5. He's going to do that. Nope, he's managed to find the line to play it straight, has he? Well, not quite, but he doesn't have an awful lot to do to get on the 6. He might end up just playing the 6 long if he's going to go forward. Yeah. Well, again, this shot has to be played positively. You've got to get the stroke to get that stunned into the corner and get the cue ball off the rail and out for the 7 and the other rail. Unless you're going to start spinning the cue ball up and running off rails and stuff. But the stun's the shot. Yeah, he is going to spin it. But the problem with that is that running into the 7. The actual shot was a stun to the rail to come across. But I think Larry was maybe afeared that the stun would rattle the ball in the pocket, as they tend to do. But he's still got a cut. And he's plumb on the 8 ball. In fact, he's got a very slight angle, so you can go forward or just stun it like that and just leave a slight cut. So this for the match. And a 9-6 win for Larry. Back into the, where's the cue ball going? Back into the champion's chair for Friday night 9-ball. Well, that's it, folks. I hope you can join me Sunday. Well done to Larry. Well done to Bankster as well. He'll have got himself in the money tonight. And that is it. I'm off to bed. We'll see you soon, and I'll bid you good night.